ladies and gents? Welcome. It's time for another episode of the Good Bit Podcast. We are here. We are coming at you for episode number 62. Can you believe we're on episode 62 already? When I started the podcast years ago, I said if we can make it to episode 62, man, we're doing something right. This is, ladies and gents, another brand new episode. Thank you so much for joining us on this fine day. Whether it be the afternoon, whether it be the evening, or whether it be first thing in the morning, you're here for the Good Bit Podcast, and my name is Chris Moffat, and I'll be your host, guiding you through today. Guiding you? No, I'm not going to guide you anywhere. I'm going to take you. I'm not taking you anywhere. That sounds weird. I am going to be your conductor. Does that work? Conductor. I'll be your conductor on this train. I'm your host, and we're here today, episode 62. Not only is it special because everyone knows 62 is the best number, however, I'm joined today by one of my bestest brothers, one of my favourite people in the world to talk to. His name is Josh Whitelaw, good close personal friend of mine, an actor, very talented actor, who has been in some of the films and that you're going to hear all about today. We recorded this conversation earlier in the week, I think, or just maybe last week, and it is, if anything, one of my favourite conversations we've had here in the Good Bit over our past few years here. But yes, thank you so much to everybody who listened to last week's episode. That's right, more than one episode in like a fortnight. There was an episode last week, it was 61 obviously, and it was my chat with Madeline McGurk. Great response, great downloads, all that good stuff, great feedback. Always lovely to hear all your comments, so please continue to send them in. You can do so on YouTube, of course, leaving comments, CM42TV, but obviously it's not the preferred way to listen to a podcast, unless you're a YouTube podcast guy or gal. But of course, you can get us on Twitter and Instagram and Facebook at The Good Bit Pod. So check us out on there, give us a follow, and that's really the easiest way to support the show, other than, telling your friends and your family and your pets about the Good Bit Podcast, who I'm sure would all be massive fans if they listened. So if you can tell folk about the podcast, if you can tell folk about this episode right here, then I would be forever grateful. And of course, as I've said before, we now have a Patreon, patreon.com/CM42TV. Now I know it's not as ideal as, because it's not the Good Bit thing, but it's like, it's all linked together. The Good Bit, CM42 TV, all that stuff, all linked together. It's all me, it's all my big, massive staff here at Good Bit Studios, working tirelessly to provide some entertainment. So, without any further ado, we're right here. It's episode number 62. Me and my good close personal friend, Josh Whitelaw, a very famous actor who everybody knows. We're going to chat today. Honestly though, Josh is great. He provided such a good, hilarious conversation here that I'm sure you're all going to enjoy. Josh is an actor that has been in loads of plays, loads of pantos. I'm sure you've seen him all over the country. He's also been in films such as Beats, Wild Rose. He's been an Outlander, all these things. We're going to chat about all that stuff, funny audition experiences, old drama tales, all that good stuff here on the Good Bit Podcast. As I receive an email live, I'm going to go check it while you listen to episode number 62 of the Good Bit Podcast right here with my bestest brother, Joshua Whitelaw. Sound check first. Sound check, 1, 2. After you.
After me, after you. It's like some sort of tag team name.
That'd be a great tag team name.
After me,
after you. Who would you be?
So like, I don't know what one I'd be, but like that'd be like the kind of gimmick at the corner.
Aye.
When you're coming in. After me, no, after you. No, after me, after you. So,
everybody's just being really polite.
Yeah, it's like a tag team that never want to get in the ring.
The tag team that never want to do any damage. Yeah, right, so we're here, we're back, we're on the Good Bit Podcast. I'm joined by my good close personal friend, Joshua. Woo, you're finally here. This has been a long time coming. We've been talking about this for
ages.
About, I'm going to say, 4 months. And no, it's not been as long as that, but we're here. But we're here, we're going to chat about everything about life, just in general. So feel free to chime in about your life. But you are an actor.
I am indeed.
What's that all about?
What's that? Who knows? I'm still questioning that.
What for?
I don't know. It's school and that, isn't it? Like, we've never actually talked about that before, ever.
Well, we've been saving it for this.
I
knew I was going to ask you these questions.
You're so slack.
Every time you've brought it up about that, like, hold it.
Aye.
That. Wait till we go into this.
I feel like I need a Chris Moffat in my life mostly.
Like, to guide you through decisions?
The minute I start talking about acting, shut up. I think it's usual. I don't know. I had a really good drama teacher at high school that I thought it was because of high school and I had a really good teacher,
right?
Which is true, and it was the only thing I was interested in at school. But I read my reports recently, my primary school reports.
Oh, really?
In P5, it was saying that I was good at drama in P5. So
it started from like an early age.
without even knowing it. But I got my first film job when I was at high school.
Oh, really?
So I was in 6th year, and Des Hamilton, who cast This Is England, came in.
Oh,
so
yeah.
he cast the main boy in This Is England. He came to the school and was casting this horror film, and then I was in this horror film with James Nesbitt and Karen Gillan and Kate
Really?
Kay, yeah, and James Cosmo, and all these amazing stars.
What horror film?
It's called Outcast.
That was one of the questions I was going to ask you. Like, what was your first job? Like the first paid acting job?
Outcast.
Would it have been Outcast?
Then I think I was 16 when we started filming it.
Nice.
I was 17 when it came out.
I bet you were buzzing. Like
Of
that
course.
time. Do you know what I mean?
$3,500 for a 17-year-old kid. Back then, that was a lot of shoes.
It's a big, yeah, exactly. It's a big deal. Yeah, I think I was the same in terms of doing acting and drama and that sort of thing.
Yeah.
I didn't know what I wanted to do like as a career until I was like in high school. I think it was because of my teacher and my course and my class and all that. I just kind of fell in love with that because I didn't dislike school at all. But it was one of the ones where I was like, I can't wait to go to drama.
Totally.
Or I can't wait to do something that I'm interested in.
Yeah.
And that was always a good laugh. But that was an early start. But even now, it's like one of those ones where I'm just still kind of convincing myself, like, is this the right decision? You know, but it's just these things that go through your head. Do you know
Well,
what
it's
I mean?
like a gambling game, acting, isn't it? And I think creativity in general.
Yeah.
It's weighing up the love versus the actual rewards financially, I guess.
Look at us chatting very sensibly about life,
I know.
financially and being secure and that
Well,
sort of
I think you need to think about life a lot as an actor. Like, I think when
Absolutely.
you're creating, you're not creating a new life, but you're creating a life out of a character on a page.
Yeah.
You kind of have to think about like what life is, what makes you tick, what makes you sad, what makes you happy, what keeps you going. That
Totally.
can transfer into a character, or that's why you have to kind of pre-study
Yeah.
all these things. In college and that, they talk about like social, economic, historical kind of research about any character.
That's right.
There's so much research you can do
Yeah.
to build a character because there's so much to life.
Yeah, absolutely.
So you probably do think about it a lot more than
Then you even realise.
Then you
that
realise,
subconsciously you think about it all the time.
if you're in like a 9 to 5, you're just like, I just need to get through it.
Yeah,
But
exactly.
in our job, it's like the 9 to 5 is getting a bloody job.
Exactly,
and
thinking about it and like doing that whole process of living with yourself for the audition, you know what I mean?
totally.
Yeah.
That's the actor's real job. That's
Exactly, getting through it and getting to the audition and that sort of thing.
Yeah.
Tell me about any funny auditions you've had. Have you had any like total screamers?
Oh,
that you can talk about?
I had a screamer like last week.
Oh, really?
Right? I think I might have told you this.
Go for it.
I'm just going to go in on it. I went out for an advert,
If you
right?
don't want to mention any names, you don't have to.
Oh, come on,
but
yeah.
I'm not going to bleep anything. You can say it if you want.
I don't care.
Okay.
And I had an advert for a bank last week, and I was in a barge in Leith. So I was on the...
I was in Leith yesterday.
Were you?
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Lovely place.
I like Leith a lot. I call it the Glasgow of Edinburgh.
Exactly, that's exactly it.
it's probably it.
And then the West End of Glasgow is the Edinburgh of Glasgow.
Aye,
Yeah,
that's it.
exactly.
So we've got a bit of both. The best of both worlds.
Need a bit of culture. Anyway, your bank advert.
But I was in a barge, randomly auditioning in a barge. Right, so first of all, I'm like, what the fuck is this?
Like, why?
Why am I on a barge auditioning for a big, like, fancy advert? Didn't pay very well. So I already went in a wee bit like, okay, this is not great, but went up for it. And it was to play a lawnmower guy running, not playing a lawnmower. That'd be
you took a wee bit
hilarious.
of a pause there, and I was
Right.
like, "You're just going to play a lawnmower?"
That'd be hilarious. See, I'd be really interested in that.
Yeah, exactly.
How do I, Josh, play a lawnmower?
You wouldn't have minded the low pay for the lawnmower.
No, I was playing a guy pushing a lawnmower, and basically the guy was like, okay, so you can use the full entire room, so this barge, I want you to go and mow the lawn around this. So, and at the end of mowing the lawn, I want you to, like, something to go wrong with it. Non-specific, he was dead non-specific. And about halfway through it, he was like, Josh, can you just, like, make it more natural? And I'm like, I'm miming mowing a lawn
Yeah.
on a barge in
Leith.
Give me, in my head I was like, give me a lawnmower and give me a
Yeah.
lawn to mow and it'll be good to go. But no,
Nah.
it was awful.
Fair.
And it was one of those embarrassing moments where you do question, like, what have I done here? Like,
Yeah, exactly.
I've done tons of nice theatre, tons of film, and there's no greater experience than going from the heights to the lows.
Oh, it's crazy.
Because I did a job outside Specsavers a couple of years ago, which I can only describe as a demoralising job. And I'm wearing this yellow, almost fluorescent yellow jacket, the most bright thing you could ever see. I could be a mile away from you, Chris, and you'd see me, right? Okay. I go from being watched by 600 people on a stage, everybody listened to every word you say, on the edge of edge of the seats, palm your hand, you got them right there, and then you're outside giving free vouchers for designer glasses at Specsavers and a fluorescent yellow jacket, and nobody gives a shit.
As a glasses enthusiast and wearer all the time, I'm not a fan of Specsavers whatsoever.
Oh really?
Yeah, they're the worst.
So I should blame Specsavers.
Yeah, so it's one of those jobs where it's now in your past and it's fine. You don't need to worry about it.
Okay, aye, it was £10 an hour. It's alright.
It's not bad actually. Maybe I'll apply.
It was okay.
Sometimes you can have a great audition, and you can have these brilliant experiences, but sometimes it's just. You go, why am I living with these stories in my head and I'm going to tell someone about this on a podcast however many years later?
What's your favourite type of audition?
Oh God, I love a chat that leads into maybe something I've prepared and been asked for in advance.
Yeah.
Nothing, I don't like anything overly experimental. You're going to know as soon as you meet me if you want me in a play or in an advert or something, regardless of how you look or how you are acting wise. Because anybody can act. Depends how
everyone's got a part they can play. I definitely like a more chat based one, something like you go away, you read the play, talk about the play for a bit, kind of just discuss it as equals, and then you find yourself just reading the script with them. That's what I like. I like just go in and have a wee chat. Here's a script, sight read it, boom, done.
Break it down. I don't like sight reading though, and I think it's because I'm not a good reader. I don't even think it's acting. It's just can you read a line in a dramatic voice? That's all it is to me. But I prefer getting on my feet and stuff. But everybody's different. It's all about taste.
It's all about taste.
So what other stuff? Any other audition stories you can share?
Let me think about
off the top of your head.
I mean, we had all sorts of ones. We've had you said experimental made me think about when I was about 10 years ago when I did the first film, and I was at college. I got asked to got for this Macbeth, this ill-fated Macbeth production. They were taking it was a site-specific director who went to RADA, who was going to take it to a Polish house somewhere else, and it was the worst. It was I think I'm used to the kind of wankery of acting because I've been to all sorts of things now. I went to drama school, which not saying it's always good wank, but we did a lot of stuff that was experimental, and I dug some of it. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. I
don't mind it. I kind of get if I can understand what the process is leading towards, then I'm cool with that. Yeah. But she had this rolling about the floor and pretending we were the sea, and I just kind of was like, "What's the sea got to do with Macbeth? There's not a sea mentioned."
What a great question.
You know what I mean? I was just kind of we're rolling about the floor and just we're doing all sorts of crazy stuff, and then in the room she was just asking me where I was, what drama school I went to, and I was like, I'm a college student. I got asked to do this because I know the guy who plays Macbeth.
I see. Okay, because you're not bothered.
I was in 2 films last year. I was in Wild Rose and Beats. Both films I did my self-tape in 5 minutes.
I see. Right.
Essentially, Beats I was doing a production I'm part of called Gold Dust, and we were in a lunch break, and I just grabbed 2 people and just did my self-tape. I'd learnt the lines and just did it. Boom, sent it off, got the job next day. And then Wild Rose, I had to get a group of pals together to audition the thing with me, and you can hear in the self-tape, you can hear an audience come in for the show that we're about to do in Aberdeen, so you can hear them sort of trickling in as I'm downstairs improvising, and genuinely it was skin of my teeth, I need to get it done, I need to send it off, because that usual thing, you're lucky with the kind of agency you've got, but I can't just spend my afternoon improvising for a kids show. Yeah,
I feel I'm so self-critical though, and I'm used to, obviously with the YouTube stuff, I'm used to self-taping a lot. But even that, when I watch it back, I'm this is not good enough. But then I see other people's, and it's not that I'm thinking they're not any good, but a lot of other people don't really, they'll do that last sort of minute. I have to film this. I don't care what it looks like. I just need to send it away.
Yeah.
And I'm always like over stressing about it and overthinking it, and I need to get the lights right, and I need to get the camera right, and I need to get the mic set up and all that stuff. When you don't really need to do that, because again, they need to know. They'll know as soon as they see you.
Yeah, of course, they don't care. So why spend more time on something that's not going to... Just do the prep. That's all I'd say, is the prep is so important in any acting case. That's the most important section, in my opinion, is like, know your bloody lines.
Yeah.
And just film it.
Show up on time.
Show up on time and just get it done.
Yeah.
Like, no mucking about, just get on it.
Yeah.
Because I have done the opposite thing, where I've done like hours of learning and hours of
stressing and overthinking. Yeah.
Oh, that one, but my face isn't in good light in that one. They don't care. They genuinely don't care.
Exactly.
Like,
as long as they can see you.
As long as they can see you and it looks like you.
Exactly.
You're fine.
You mentioned Wild Rose there. Pretty big film last year.
I know. What?
It got quite popular.
BAFTA nominated.
Now you're sitting there surprised you were in the film.
I know.
So why are you surprised?
I just am.
Yeah.
She's amazing.
Yeah.
She's fabulous.
Who's she?
Jessie Buckley. She's fantastic, and she's a lovely, lovely, lovely woman. I had a great day with her.
I was going to say, how was the whole experience?
Experience was great. Like I just play like a mad random guy in the train who shouts about bacon rolls.
Bacon rolls, which I just had one for lunch, by the way.
Nice. Was it
you
good?
You didn't shout. I was looking for the live performance. But
no, I didn't go for it. I actually find it pure cringy, that bacon rolls thing.
Really?
Like, it was the director's idea, and I wasn't keen on it. Because I've never. We've chatted tons of stuff, right? I've chatted a lot of things in my life, right? I'm never chanting for bacon rolls, though. So I just was like, I don't really believe in that.
Yeah, you're like, it's not really my thing.
It's not really. No, it was good.
I love a bacon roll.
We improvised for hours, though. Like, it was a couple of hours, and it was sweltering. So I felt I was sweating like my box off. I had chinos on, and like I was getting like I was like sweating through my chinos at the knees. Like I was that sweaty, and. Jessie was just sound as. I was really like, oh no, this is a big star. Like, I'm just sweating my box off. You can see me sweating the thing, but I look pretty steaming.
You look different, actually.
Yeah, I do.
I don't know what it was, but you do look different in that scene.
Both Beats and Wild Rose. But Wild Rose is the one.
You look different. I'll get on to Beats in a minute. I didn't even wreck. I'll pay in a minute, right? But carry on with Wild Rose.
But Wild Rose,
You're in some sort of corridor or something.
Yeah, it's the Virgin train. So we went to like a training centre with all the Virgin staff go to down in Crewe and filmed it on there, and then we filmed it live on a train on the way up, and we didn't realise we got off. There's a bit at the end where I'm like waving like bye, and that is genuinely the last thing they could have filmed. Like we only could do it like once.
Wow.
Because we tried to jump back on the train, and the mad train conductor guy was screaming at us. So.
Well, this is a real train.
It's a real train, aye. So we did like a lot of the filming on the kind of mock train.
Yeah. And
then we went on a real train to get it, like to go back up.
Yeah.
And as I said, our waving scene where we leave is in Carlisle, and we weren't allowed back in the train because the minute we left the train, that was us.
Of course, you come off the train.
And then we got on our own train with a couple of celebratory beers, because I had to cast my mates in it as well.
Really?
So it was really...
They trusted you with that?
Yeah, well, they were just like a couple of mates together and come down and improvise, and it was really hard to get pals. Like, so many of my pals weren't up for it because they were like, no, I'm not the man. I'm not the guy. I'm like, well, you could just come with me and get a couple £100 and,
exactly.
You know, hang out with me and meet Jessie Buckley,
BAFTA
nominated Jessie Buckley. Like, she can sing like mad as well. Her voice is... I mean, I got to like sit in the makeup section and all that with her playing tunes and singing, and I was just like, this lassie's amazing.
Class.
She's just really lovely. Gave me a big hug at the premiere and all that in Glasgow.
Good.
She's brilliant. She's brilliant.
How was the premiere? Was it like well received?
It wasn't a premiere. Sorry, it was like the sort of cast and crew.
Right,
but she came up and showed. I think it's Tom, director, who directed War and Peace as well. He's brilliant. Like, I think he's amazing. Really, really free. Like, I was so comfortable on that set, and it was only like a day, but it was really cool.
Yeah.
And Jessie was just worried about her accent.
Right.
That's all she was worried about. Like, she was just giving me a big hug.
Shouldn't be. Yeah.
She gave me a big hug, and she was like, "What about the accent?" I'm like, "You're never going to get it 100%."
Exactly.
Because like Julie Andrews in it is phenomenal.
Yeah.
But I go, you're from that side of Glasgow. That doesn't quite fit accent wise.
Yeah.
You sound a bit posher than somebody from
wherever it was.
Wherever it was.
Aye.
At the time.
Did you meet Julie Andrews?
No.
No. Imagine sending her back.
I was so excited. I'm still going to say that I was a film with Julie Andrews, isn't I?
Absolutely, yeah. Don't you? I mean, that's like a claim to fame. But I mean, again, to sit down and chat to her, I think would be fascinating.
I know.
If you see her again, tell her like your mate's got a podcast and he'd love to chat to you.
I shall. Man, I'm going to try. I'm going to try to get everybody involved.
Aye.
In CM42 TV.
Episode 106. Chris sits down with Julie Andrews.
Ooh, child.
Right, so Beats was on the other night, right? So I knew you were in Beats, and it was on Sky Premiere for the past couple of months. Aye, so we went, the number one film you see when you go into Sky Movies is Beats now.
That's hilarious.
And obviously it was just on. I know it was a Scottish film, whatever, and I just was doing other things as it was on. And I was like, Josh is in this film, and I was watching it. And I couldn't quite place you. Then I looked at a group chat on Facebook, and someone had taken a screenshot because they were watching Beats as well at the exact same time I was watching it, and they noticed you, and they sent a picture into the group chat, and it was you. But obviously you were clean shaven, you had your hair down, and I was like, I saw that character, but I didn't know it was you. So there you go.
That's hilarious.
That's hilarious.
And I'm in it a wee bit. I've not got a massive part, but I've got like a sort of brooding sidekick role.
Yeah. How was that whole experience? A good fun?
It was interesting. I mean, talking about the look, I turned up, right, Chris. I looked absolutely gorgeous before they before they looked at me. Like how nobody can see, but you looked at me so suggestively when you laughed there.
Oh, me?
I love that. But anyway, I had like longer hair. My hair had just got long enough for me to like tie up in one of those like hipster top knot things.
Yeah.
So that a couple of years ago, so it was like the fashion.
Yeah.
I had a wonderful big beard, bigger than my beard now. But I was just like, I look class. I look like Jason Momoa's wee cousin or something like that. Like I was just
Jesus.
I mean, that's high praise.
Aye.
Somebody did tell me recently that I look a bit like Jason Momoa, and I honestly was like, get in the bin. Get in the bin.
Maybe facially a little bit, but I mean, like...
Yes, I'll take that. If I can have a percentage of Jason Momoa's looks, I mean, come on.
I know.
The man is a total ride.
Him and Roman Reigns could be brothers.
They could be. They're both rides.
They are both rides. I do love Roman Reigns. But anyway, carry on.
So I had this wonderful hair, Jason Momoa-esque hair and beard, and then they brought me in, and the guy who plays like sidekick to Fido, played by Neil. Neil's an amazing actor.
Neil who?
Neil Leeper.
I don't know.
Neil Leeper. He's really bloody good, and he's great. You really believe him when you're working with him. He in the script it says he's got curtains, like 90s curtains, the haircut.
Yeah.
And I looked at Neil first day I saw him, and he has like, but your length of hair had not enough hair to like make curtains, and I just went. I looked at him and went, I'm going to end up getting those curtains.
No.
And they shaved my beard off,
Yeah.
and they cut in the curtains. And honestly, a bit of me died inside.
Aye.
But it was really good for the character.
Well, listen, it's a striking look.
Really good for the character, to kind of be that sort of like a bit looking a bit shit.
Aye.
So it was a really good experience. I mean, it was difficult. It's difficult to play characters where you're not saying a lot.
Yeah.
Because you have to do a lot of that thinking, a lot of the thinking acting,
Absolutely.
a lot of stuff like what's going on with him, what's he thinking about. And I think at some points in Beats it's successful for me. I'm really critical of my work as well.
Yeah.
I think sometimes it's successful in it, sometimes it's not. There's bits and pieces of it that I'm like, oh, Josh, you're not really thinking about anything there. Like you look a bit blank.
Yeah, but it's a facial thing, I think. Like when those parts where you are quieter. Like I played a part in a play about a year and a half ago where I was silent the whole play until like the last half hour, and it's like all that time I was like, oh my god, I can't believe I'm sitting here the whole time.
Is that Judas
No,
Iscariot?
it's Judas, yeah.
You're great in that.
But I was sitting there like not doing anything the whole time, but then I was doing stuff.
Yeah.
As you go, but you're just doing it yourself, and it's like natural
Totally.
reactions.
Yeah, there's a bit. Beats was it was crazy. I mean, the actual club scene, and then they had an actual full-on rave
Right,
where we were filming in between that, and that was an experience.
And then you tell me about that. It was mental.
I kind of hated it.
Yeah.
If I'm honest, because I'm like, I'm there. I'm trying to be tough with this character. Like he's searching for the motivation is I'm searching for this guy. He stole my pal's money, which basically means it's my money and my time. Everyone's like, it's him that's going to be screaming at me about it. So I'm trying to get rage and trying to like search for this guy, and you're just in a party atmosphere, and everyone else having such a good time, and you're in this headspace. It was just really difficult.
Aye, totally.
It was really difficult because it was mad. Like it was a full-on rave. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's crazy.
It was just a full-on rave, and like people were steaming, people were doing what they want to do because it's a club night.
Because why not?
And we're filming
exactly.
during the club night.
Yeah.
So actually, like it's one of these weird things where it's like we kind of gave up control to them. To the crowd, because how can you do anything else?
Yeah.
And I felt bad for the camera guys. Like our shot was like a tracking shot backwards, and we were just like coming, like almost like Kill Bill, like do that mad thing in the volume 1.
Great films.
I love Kill Bill so
Kill Bill's
much,
great.
man. I love Kill Bill.
Yeah.
I was talking to my mate about that recently because we were discussing Once Upon a Time in Hollywood and talking about the kind of variant of styles and how I think actually Once Upon a Time in Hollywood for me was one of the times where I was like, oh, I wish you'd stop trying to change the style and just stick to the film. You've got a film here. For the first 2 hours, you've got this film. Why do you need like this weird section where it talks about Leo DiCaprio's Italian films that he's making?
Aye.
I don't care.
That's right, yeah.
I don't care about your Italian films. I care about
What's going on.
What's going on already. But Kill Bill is like the best example of it.
Yeah.
That kind of cartoon manga scene when it goes back
It's
into
mental.
Orange cheese.
And do you know what I love about that? It goes on for ages.
Yeah.
They just take their time with it.
It's like 20 minutes.
Yeah,
like
for that one
A
section.
short film in the middle of
Brilliant.
the film.
Yeah.
Awesome. Sorry, where did we get there? How did we get there?
Tell me, no, it's fine, we're moving on. Tell me about any early film experiences you've got in terms of watching films. Like, because you're a big film guy, you always go every week.
Yeah, I go
like
every week.
myself.
Yeah.
What can you remember, like the first films you saw when you were younger, whether it just be in the house or at the cinema?
I mean, I think Lion King. Lion King is what I remember. I remember my first cinema experience. It's not my first cinema experience, of course, but the one that sticks in my head is Lion King.
94.
Yeah.
Just showing your age there.
So I was 3.
It's crazy. Mine was Monsters Inc. I was 4.
Monsters Inc. is so good. I love Monsters Inc.
Classic. But now, like, if I was to see, if I was to see a film like Monsters Inc. or The Lion King having a showing in the cinema now, I'd be there in a second.
Of course.
But at the time, it's just like it's whatever's out. But I bet like the films that we're seeing this week, for example, you know, maybe in 10 years' time, we'll be like, oh, if that comes back in the cinema, I'm definitely going to see it. But we're just seeing them as they come out. We're seeing them just like everything else.
Totally.
So at the time, you don't realise this is an amazing film. Like The Lion King is like a perfect film. You're
so
like, you can't believe you're seeing this in the cinema.
So good.
I like the remake.
Yeah,
I like the
I think
remake
they
a
did
lot.
an okay job.
Yeah.
I think it's always hard. It's going to always be hard to touch. Anything you touch, like any iconic thing you try to remake, is always going to be. People want it a certain way.
Just judge it against the original.
My biggest gripe with it was there's this amazing tune in the original film where Simba's going back to Pride Lands to reclaim his throne.
Yeah.
And it's his feet like dancing across. I don't
Yeah,
know.
yeah.
I'm not going to do the vocalization of the song, but they changed that song from like this really like uprising like tribal tune to like Beyonce singing. And I'm a bit like, Beyonce is great, but not when that you're reclaiming the throne.
Aye.
Not when
Aye.
like.
Aye, but Beyonce's in it, so we need to get her to sing.
So but like it just was the wrong time for it.
Aye,
Like
no,
it's
you're
this
right.
dramatic moment, and Beyonce's like doing her mad like her mad reels,
Aye,
and you're
fair.
kind of like, I don't feel like I think it could just have been like straight instrumental.
Yeah, fair. Any
like-
other early memories? Sorry, go on.
I like Timon and Pumbaa a lot in the recent.
They were.
They
do you know
were
what?
excellent.
If you were to tell me Seth Rogen has never to act again, and I was to pick his perfect role,
It's Pumbaa.
it's Pumbaa.
He's so good
He
at
was
it.
so perfect for Pumbaa.
Who was Timon again? What's the guy's name?
Is it
Billy Eichner.
Oh, what's it really?
Is it Billy Eichner?
I can search it.
Billy in the Street. That's the show. He's amazing. He made Timon so snarky, which I thought was an amazing shout.
Yeah, they are like a snarky kind of like daft duo,
Aye,
aren't they?
so good.
So that is good.
What
Any other early films that you liked when you were younger?
I'm trying to think. Like, obviously, it's not even like I'm trying. I'm stuttering now. I'm trying to think about like really young memories, but it's hard. Like,
Obviously, it's hard. Yeah.
I think the first like things that I was like so excited about. I was lucky because I grew up with like Harry Potter coming out for the first time.
Absolutely.
Lord of the Rings.
Hello.
Lord of the Rings was like the main one. It was like it was the first 3.5 hour film I could watch.
Yeah.
It was Lord of the Rings.
Exactly.
And I was in the cinema, gripped, didn't go to the toilet, like, and I was like, I don't know what age I was. Maybe like 12, 13.
First one came out in 2001.
Oft. I was 10.
There you go.
So 10-year-old Josh
There you go,
sitting there
there.
just loving life.
I've not seen them since then.
Oft. That's my Christmas tradition.
Is it really?
That's what we watch at Christmas.
I've not seen them since then, and I watched them at the time, but I was so like mesmerised by wrestling at that age, I was just like, I'm not even a film guy.
Yeah.
I'm wrestling and Nickelodeon and Disney TV shows. That was me when I was that age.
Yeah.
So I feel like, and I've not watched them since. If I feel like if I'm going to watch the Lord of the Rings trilogy now, I will die and fall in love with those films.
Oh, they're so good.
But I'm just waiting for that right moment to rewatch
So
them.
good. It's the kind of thing they were going to originally do a Lord of the Rings TV series
right, yeah.
in Scotland, not Glasgow, in Scotland, and I just wanted to be part of that.
Yeah.
I was just like, I would love to be in a film. I'd love to be a dwarf.
Yeah,
in a
exactly.
Lord of the Rings-esque film.
It's like when they were announcing all the Star Wars stuff, whether it be like the Mandalorian or the new Kenobi one and stuff like that. I'd love to be a part of it.
I don't even care the size
anything.
of it. Yeah,
You know what I mean?
I'm the same.
New Star Trek series is out, Picard. Like if they shoot at all in the UK, I want to be a part of it in some way. But easier said than done, obviously.
Definitely.
Favourite films of all time?
Oh my god, man! That's
Just off the top of your head, if you've got any that you love and you always watch. So Lord of the Rings would be one.
Lord of the Rings would definitely be ones. I love Gladiator.
Yeah, classic.
This is terrible. I'm gonna be really annoyed with myself.
I should have prepped you, but
when I
sometimes...
listen back to this, I'll be so annoyed at my choices. Oh, what else do I love?
What about just recently? Anything great you've seen in the cinema recently that you loved?
I loved The Farewell.
Oh, I've not seen it.
Oh, Farewell is amazing, man.
Is that new?
Yeah, it got snubbed, I think, by the Oscars for sure. It had Awkwafina. She was up for the for the best newcomer at the BAFTAs. She was fabulous. So it's a film about, in Eastern culture, if you have a terminal illness, they don't tell you. They tell your family. So this family, who are, some of them are in China, some of them are in Japan, and some of them are in America. I might be wrong about that. It's been a while since I watched it. But essentially, they all get told the news, and they all fabricate a way in which they can get everyone to see this gran. So they choose two random relatives to marry each other. It's like they get the random cousin and get like the girlfriend and say, you guys are getting married, but so that we can all see our gran for the last time. It's based on a true story, and it's this really dark comedy kind of drama. All right, really uplifting, but also like sad, and it's got so many things. Like it was like life reaffirming, life crushing, and then it was just like life reaffirming. I left that at the cinema going, I feel brilliant about my life now. I feel amazing about life.
I love that feeling when you leave the cinema. Seeing you're just glowing after a film. Totally. Like, that was amazing, and it makes you pure question things. Best feeling ever.
I loved that. I loved 1917.
And you loved Parasite.
And I loved Parasite. Parasite was, I think, film of the year, and I think rightfully deserved it. My opinion. Anyway, my opinion anyway. 1917 was when I saw that, I was like, oofed. That beats, like, in my opinion, The Joker and all these films, like Little Women.
Jojo Rabbit.
Oh, I love Jojo Rabbit so much.
And I came in and I hailed Hitler too.
Oh, what have you been up to? Well, I came in and hi Hitler, the boy. The amount of there's a great video of Taika and Stephen Merchant talking about how many times they were like analysing that scene. And I think Taika was kind of like bragging that he was like, I think it's like 30 Heil Hitlers in about 2 minutes of film.
I think Stephen Merchant's scene in that film is quite spectacular.
So and he's hilarious. Just a cameo.
Exactly.
Like, I really love Jojo Rabbit. Jojo Rabbit was astounding.
Little girl, little Jew in the wall.
But I loved what was his pal's name?
I know.
He stole the film. He stole the film from me. Right? It's just that, like, I say it to my mate Daniel recently. My mate Daniel recently got like he's going out with somebody, and I did that to him. So it's like, oh Daniel, you got yourself a girlfriend, because he does have that. But he's like, oh Jojo, you got yourself a girlfriend.
That's right, yeah.
And at the end, he's just like, it appears I can't die, or something like that. He was
class.
He was like a young Nick Frost.
Yes, absolutely.
But like with the genius of an old Nick Frost.
Yeah.
The comic genius of him.
Absolutely.
And instead of this just wee charismatic boy.
Yeah, he's
and
very
then
funny.
you see them like there's a video of them meeting each other, seeing each
at
other.
The awards stuff, and they like you have this big hug.
And they just evidently get on so well. I just look at those two wee kids and I'm just like, you guys are going to be absolute geniuses when you're older. Brilliant. Like, so good.
I thought Scarlett Johansson was amazing.
Scarlett Johansson, right? Of course, she's absolutely stunning, and that gets mentioned first and foremost. And I'm sorry I mentioned it first again, but truthfully, that was a performance so full of personality.
Absolutely,
like she was so playful. It was beautiful.
You know what? It might be my favourite Scarlett Johansson performance.
I think it might be mine as well.
Out of all the films, I love Black Widow. You know, I loved her in Marriage Story.
Yeah.
That new Netflix film, which was brilliant.
Great
I thought Adam Driver was better than her, actually. I thought Adam Driver was
definitely
outstanding in that film.
Yeah, there's a question in that. Oh, we're going on tangents.
There's
a question in that about, because he wrote the film.
Adam Driver did.
No, Adam Driver, the guy Adam Driver's playing as the director and writer of it.
Yeah.
So I'm interested by the bias of that.
I wonder,
Because I've had a few conversations with people saying they sided with her more or sided with him. I think he comes out in the writing as a better person.
Good call.
Than
Scarlett
Johansson does. I think Scarlett Johansson, because he's writing about the ex-wife, I feel like there's
absolutely. I think he gets it right though, because it is that story that it's just a family falling apart and they're trying so hard to stay together.
Lovely film.
And
as well.
at the end, like, they just need to find whatever solution is there.
Yeah.
But what I took away from it is how massive Adam Driver is. See, in Star Wars, you don't notice it because he's wearing this mad costume.
Yeah.
It's Kylo Ren, and you see him in a film, and it was also in Black Klansman.
Yeah,
you see that brilliant film as well. I noticed it there as well. He's just odd, but he has the most interesting, fascinating oddness about him.
Yeah.
He's one of the most fascinating actors I've ever seen, I think.
He's great.
He's great, but he's so like, he's one of those actors, a bit like people much older than him. Someone like Patrick Stewart or something, where you see him on screen and you're literally like, you drop everything you're doing, you forget you're watching a film. Because you're just seeing them on screen.
Totally.
You know, DiCaprio's the same. I thought Brad Pitt was the same and things like that. And he's already there for me. I think Adam Driver's one of the best.
He's the best. He's one of the best kicking about for sure.
Absolutely.
For sure. And if you look in that kind of bracket, he's one of the newer people to the scene.
Yeah.
In some way.
Exactly. That's what I mean.
You know,
he's already reaching that point.
Like, what was it, 3-4 years since he's kind of... When was the first Star Wars?
2015.
2015, so like about 4 or 5 years since he kind of
broke into
the scene, and he's dominating. He's an amazing actor, and he seems like he's got a great presence.
Yeah,
on screen.
he's gonna be a dangerous writer. It's sort of like director and all that stuff. You can just tell about him. He was in a film called Patterson. That I never saw, but I heard was like his first one after Star Wars.
Because it was a TV show that he got quite big on. Was it Girls?
It was Girls, and I did a scene from Girls when I was at drama college with my pal Leanne, who's been on this podcast loads, and we were going to do a scene from Friends, right? But we were doing it as a three-parter. Or a three-hander, that's what I was looking for. 3 actors in it. And the girl who we were working with dropped out, so it was just me and her, but that was the night before. So we'd rehearsed all this scene and stuff for a play, or for this showcase thing, and our partner dropped out the night before, so we had to think of something on our feet, and Leanne picked the scene from Girls, and it was a breakup scene, and it was between Adam Driver's character and whoever the other character, I've not seen the show. But it was like this last minute thing, I'd never even heard of the show, and she brought in the scene. And I learned this fucking scene in about an hour. I don't know how I done it, I'm not even that good at reading and
Probably
stuff.
good writing.
But I just picked it up like in an hour, and we done this scene. And it was one of like the best things I've ever done. And it was so like, because I'm always, as I was talking about earlier, like I'm over exaggerating things, I'm a big kind of personality actor. But this was so kind of like a subtle small part that I really had to rein everything in. And it was the first time, it was quite early on in my drama school kind of tenure. And it was the first time that I was like, I'm actually alright at other stuff. Do you know what I mean? Like I have in my head, I have certain things that I know I'm good at, but then I never thought I was good at these other things. But if I work at it, So it was like that show was so well written and so well done, and it was so beautiful that I was able to kind of learn from it.
Totally,
you know what I mean?
That's great.
So Adam Driver, I got that from Adam Driver.
There we go. Thank you, Adam Driver.
And I just need the costume for Kylo Ren and the lightsaber.
Mate, he's so good as Kylo Ren, and I think I loved that film as well. I really liked Star Wars recently.
Star Wars, this new sequel trilogy is like the best. It's like my favourite Star Wars trilogy, and I know it's so controversial, but it's my Star Wars.
It is.
You know what I mean?
Mine was the prequels, and I mean, like,
absolutely.
I have a weird, like, I'll stick up for them. Attack of the Clones is a pile of shite.
It's not a pile of shite, but it's definitely the weakest of the three.
I mean, I think it's the weakest of the entire trilogy.
Me too.
In my opinion, it's a missed opportunity. The Jedi War, we're
in the prime of the Jedi.
Yeah, it should have been like a Jedi War film. It should have been as impactful as
Revenge of the Sith,
as Revenge of the Sith or something like that. I really like I like this recent trilogy.
I think it's brilliant.
I've had the arguments. I've liked every single film. I've liked all 3 of them.
Me too.
And I had a big argument. Well, I didn't get a big argument. I had a person actually screaming at me about how much they hated Last Jedi, and I was just like,
"But why?" This confuses me. we're going to go on a Star Wars tangent. We're going to go away for hours. But what annoys me about that, the hate for The Last Jedi, is that everybody saw The Force Awakens and everybody generally liked it. But the biggest criticism about The Force Awakens was that it was too similar to other Star Wars films. So they go, right, okay, we'll listen to the audience feedback.
Make it less.
Let's do something a little bit different.
Yeah.
So they do something a little bit different. A total new director, total new style, it looks different. Bring in new characters, different creatures. A different story. Yeah. And folk went mental.
Aye.
You know what I mean?
Chris, that's the exact argument I was talking about that. Mark Kermode, Mark Kermode I find is probably my favourite film critic. He's a person I usually agree with, even if I disagree with him in a weird way.
Yeah.
He's usually respectful in the way that he sort of analyses.
You get people like that you can trust, though, yeah.
Yeah, I kind of analyse his film. Even if we have different opinion, I kind of get his points about what he's saying. And he was so funny about The Rise of Skywalker because he didn't like it. Yeah. He didn't like it all. He liked Daisy Ridley, and I think Daisy Ridley turned up in that third film. I think she turned up.
Really?
I loved her.
I loved her in all three.
Did you?
I loved her in all three.
I thought like she was a bit nervy. I don't know.
She's exceptional in the third film. She was
unbelievable in that film. I think she really rose up. And he said he gives praise to them too, but he just says he's annoyed that they didn't kind of follow The Last Jedi and that kind of strand. Yeah. It's like J.J. Abrams was like, no, I'm going to do the actual sequel for
The Force
Awakens now, but after The Last Jedi.
Yeah. So that's how it is. It can be a bit messy at times.
Yeah.
But for me, it still works because they are different. It's Star Wars. It's going to be different.
If you take... This is what I said as well. I use your argument, right? Mm-hmm. The first one, they said it was too like it, so they changed it up and whatever else. But I say this, if you think about Star Wars for too long in any case,
exactly,
it's incredibly stupid.
Yeah.
Like, if you actually spent any time, and the originals, the ones everyone talks about, if you spent any time actually analysing them and thinking about them,
you can break them apart.
You could rip them apart. They're daft films, but they're entertaining. And
they're great, yeah.
They're fast-paced, entertaining films, and the last 3 films we've seen from Star Wars are fast-paced, entertaining films, and that's what they are.
Absolutely.
They're not thinkers.
Exactly.
It's not,
Yeah. Talking about Daisy Ridley in Rise of Skywalker, see the bit, I'm not going to spoil anything for those that haven't seen it yet, but I kind of talked about this in the top 10 films of 2019 episode, so check it out if you can.
Please do, it's actually good.
It was our longest episode, and it was one of our best actually.
I watch your stuff a lot, man.
We were talking about Rise of Skywalker because it just so happened to pop up in my top 10 of last year, and I said there's a bit in that film that is like, just sums up everything I love about cinema, right? There was a moment where, loads of parts in that film actually, but one part in particular, something bad happens to a character that is very beloved. Or at least we think something bad has happened to a character that we really love. And the audio of the film is sucked out, and Daisy Ridley screams the character's name out of absolute despair. And it's like a feeling that you only get in films like that.
Yeah.
Where it's like, how can a film make you feel like this? It's like goosebumps and chills everywhere, but it actually makes you so emotional just by one thing happened. It's a brilliant film. I thought Rise of Skywalker was brilliant.
Do you know a film I really love?
Go for it.
Going back to my favourite films.
Yeah, remember that?
I like Dead Man's Shoes.
Yeah, I've never heard of it.
Have you never heard of Dead Man's Shoes? Have you seen This Is England?
Yeah.
So the director of This Is England, it was before This Is England. Dead Man's Shoes. It's got Paddy Considine in it.
Right.
Who's a fantastic actor. It's a revenge film, straight up revenge film with a kind of twist. Brilliant. Should watch it. Sorry to take it in a mad.
Not at all. You give me a list.
I just swerved it all.
That's all right. any film you recommend, I'll note down.
Yeah, I'll try and remember. This will be like an ongoing thing. Josh's favourite film.
Josh's favourite film.
Every time I'll come on, I'll just give you a new one.
Exactly.
Each segment.
So today it's what, God's New Boots or something?
God's New Boots. Dead Man's Shoes.
Dead Man's Shoes.
God's New Boots.
God's New Boots.
That's an intro. I like that title.
That could be a sequel. Let's write it.
Let's do it.
Speaking of writing, have you watched anything on Netflix recently that we can chat about?
What we've been watching? Been watching The Crown.
The Crown with Olivia Colman.
I'm only on that 3rd season. That is a bit of a weird twist. Have you watched
I've not seen it. I can't really connect to period dramas or royalty dramas.
Really?
Yeah.
Right.
Like, so things like The Favourite and stuff, I just can't get it.
I liked The Favourite.
I liked it, but it was one of the...
I did a play called Union that had the story of that. I forgot the Queen's name.
Yeah.
But she was like a side story in Union.
I thought she was Olivia Colman was brilliant.
She was fab.
She definitely deserved the Oscar.
All 3 of them were good.
Yep.
What was the film we talked about before? Not the favourite.
Dead Man's Boots.
No,
the favourite.
Period.
Downton. The favourite.
Crown.
The Crown. That's not a film.
The Crown is sorry. The Crown is absolutely amazing, and I don't like period dramas often.
Yep.
And I don't like the royals.
Well, there you go.
Yeah, it's so interesting, and you're on that. You're like the acting, the production, the cinematography, all of it is stellar. Yep. The only thing not stellar is that they didn't continue on with Claire Foy.
Really? Okay.
And Matt Smith, and actually I think, I love Olivia Colman, but I don't think she's the right choice.
Really?
I don't think they should have changed the cast. I think they should have just aged her up. Because it's only maybe 2 years later, goes from Claire Foy to Olivia Colman.
Okay.
And it's a bit like...
all they're playing the same character?
Yeah, they're playing the same. It's just a through line.
Okay.
So in the third season, Olivia Colman is now playing Claire Foy's part.
So what happened to Claire Foy?
I don't know. Tobias Menzies plays Philip instead of Matt Smith.
Okay.
So it's just the exchange. There's people who play the same parts, like some of the side characters.
Yep.
But I've been watching that. What else have I been watching?
Did you watch Don't Fuck With Cats?
Yes.
We need to talk about that. I watched it last night.
Yeah.
All 3 parts.
Well, you made me watch it.
Okay, yeah, sorry. I did say that was going to be the theme of the episode, but now we've chatted so long about every other thing, then that's fine. We can just talk about it now.
It's crazy.
It's mental.
It's amazing.
I didn't know it was a documentary series.
Really?
I thought it was a series.
It's smart, isn't it? Smart that
I thought it was a series. And do you know what? I actually preferred the fact it was a documentary because there's something fascinating about that where like it's such a serious topic that they can do over 3 parts.
Yeah.
And really hook you in. We'll not spoil any sort of plot twists and stuff because there's plenty of them. But what I will say is you got to check it out as soon as you can.
100%.
Not only has it got a lot of buzz right now, but like it's one of those ones where you need to see it to believe it.
It's a crazy story. It's a crazy real life story. Really well, as you say, it's really well curated. The sort of docu-series, it'll grip you.
Yeah,
it's one of the most haunting, most visceral experiences I've had, and it actually does a really good job of not making a lot of the violence like really violent. It's not like bloody, but it's got just enough suggestion to freak you out. And it's that sort of, in that way, it's like that sort of Jaws moment.
Absolutely.
Where like you're like, it's scarier because we don't see all the crazy stuff. It's scarier because it builds on that. I mean, really, to be honest, the story is about people at home investigating this guy because the police won't do it. And
we can kind of give context. We can kind of talk about it. This guy posts a video online of him murdering a couple of kittens.
Suffocating them in a vacuum bag.
Suffocating a couple of kittens, right? And then folk are going, this guy is freaky or whatever, and they just kind of look into him. But as they look into him, he starts releasing more and more footage of stuff, like him playing around with the dead kittens, killing a dog, killing a person, and all that stuff. And it just keeps building up and building up. And this guy just obviously wants attention. And it's all about them trying to find whoever is producing these videos. And it's like this wild goose chase around the world.
And they're like kind of like zooming in on like the kind of power sockets and stuff in the room
Google
to figure
Maps
out where they
to
are.
See where they are and that sort of thing.
It's crazy, but like it's also like the power of like the human will, I think.
Absolutely.
I think there's something wonderful about it, and there's something sort of, by the end of it, like you kind of question the internet sleuths, the detectives looking into it all. You kind of go, they say something really interesting about kind of going too far, maybe thinking too much like the killer.
Did I go too far into this to egg him on?
Totally. Yeah. Did I add to the damage? Yeah. You know, it's fascinating,
and it's really, it makes you think about it though. Do you know what I mean? It's absolutely a possibility that could have happened because this guy's all about attention, and all I'll say is, I loved Basic Instinct before this. You know what I mean? I love that movie. And this film takes it in another direction.
I love Sharon Stone.
My God. That opening scene. I watched the opening scene of Basic Instinct. I watched Basic Instinct for the first time maybe about a year and a half ago.
Really?
Yeah. And it was always one I wanted to see because Stacey Keebler did a spoof of it in 2005.
Yes.
With Chris Benoit, Christian, and Chris Jericho.
Yes.
And I always wanted to see it because of that, right?
Yeah.
And it's hilarious. And then I went to go see it.
Stone Cold did the Gladiator, didn't he? Yeah.
I'm Stone Cold Steve Austin. And tonight, I unleash hell.
Was Big Show doing something as
Big
well?
Show did the Taxi Driver.
Yes.
You talking to me?
Aye.
They were brilliant.
They were dead smart. And Batista, they all did a kind of, it was kind
Batista,
of a
was
shot
like
between them.
Aye, like who gets it right and stuff.
Yeah.
And Batista kept missing. It was like, so what's my line, brother? And they go, you talking to me? And he goes, yeah, I'm talking to you, what's my line? And then Triple H did Braveheart, and Eugene and William Regal did Forrest Gump.
Great.
The mentally challenged wrestler played the mentally challenged character.
But what I loved, Eugene was a terrible character. But
Eugene
was the worst character.
He was, but he
did great.
What a great guy! Like what a great performer.
I know, he was awesome.
You know what I mean?
And do you know what my favourite thing? And I think it would actually be really. I mean, this is just stupid, but I loved the fact that he stole people's finishers.
Yeah.
And he used people's finishers against him. Like, if I was a wrestler, right, I'd love a gimmick like that, where like I don't have a finishing move, because that's nowadays it's so prescriptive. Like,
Everybody's got everything.
Everybody's got a finishing move, like the move they always finish on. But I'd love to see something like that, where like I stole the finisher all the time.
Yeah. You're a big wrestling fan. How did you get into wrestling?
Again, it was pretty pure youthful. I think it's similar to you. Like you were saying, like your cousin was into your big cousin.
Big family thing. Yeah, my granddad was a big fan. My gran was a big fan. My dad and my cousin. It just always was around.
My big brother and his pals all watched it, so I played all the games when I was young. I mean, I was into wrestling when I was like 6 or 7 years old.
Yeah, me too.
And I just loved Stone Cold Steve Austin. I love him.
Wow.
I do. I was thinking of getting a tattoo to kind of commemorate, not something really obvious, but like
just the broken skull.
A kind of tribute. I don't know. I would like to be more sly than that.
Yeah.
Like I did think at one point I'd just get 316, but I'm not religious, so.
Well, that's it.
Like,
everybody cutting about in the early 2000s with the Austin 316 shirt.
Aye.
And folk like, are you religious? No.
I was looking at a t-shirt last night though. I've wanted it since the 90s. It's the old. It's 1,000. I think it's not 1,000. 100% rattlesnake.
Yeah,
it's It's a sort of like one where he's up. It's just the two snake arms on the turnbuckle. I want to get that t-shirt because I don't really have much wrestling merch.
Yeah.
And
I'll give you some.
I just love Stone Cold, man.
Good.
So I guess that was it. I loved Stone Cold when I was younger. Maybe it just made me pure, like imaginative, and
it's an escape.
I wanted to be a wrestler and I wanted to do that stuff. I mean, I watch it a lot less now. I think since the Summer of Punk.
Right.
Summer of Punk was like the last time where I was like so invested.
2011.
And I really enjoyed the NXT stuff. I had a night out with a wrestler, Mr. Baron Corbin.
You're right, okay, let's talk about that. Let's talk about that. Let's finish on that. I've got an idea though. Why don't you come back in a couple of weeks' time and we'll talk about wrestler cameos in movies on another episode?
That's a great idea.
Yeah.
It's almost like that was the plan for this one.
Yeah, we've chatted for almost an hour without even going into it.
I know.
So let's do that.
That's silly.
Let's make that the next one.
Yeah, Baron Corbin.
Tell me about your night out with King Corbin.
King Corbin. Really nice guy. Tom.
I've heard that, and do you know, I've heard he's actually one of the nicest guys in the whole.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's funny because I mean, I remember the NXT. What was it?
2015, they did a tour and they did all the sort of. It was like peak NXT.
Yeah, so I mean, we got everybody. We got Sami Zayn. We got
Neville was there.
We got Samoa Joe. We got Alexa Bliss.
Bailey
we got
peak.
Enzo and Cass. It's Enzo and Cass, never to be seen again.
Sad.
It's a shame because
they two had so much potential. It's crazy.
Totally. I mean, Enzo's mic work was just exceptional.
Just couldn't work it
like. He's terrible ring performer. He should just been a manager to Big Cass. Once it came to,
still they were a good tag team, but I mean, you know, Cass did all the heavy lifting, and Enzo was the character.
Well, we keep going in tangents, but the first promo against the Dudleys was just amazing. Like, so good. Yeah. Like, what was some of the lines? He says
he'll put that lazy eye back to work.
He says something like, "You're so ugly that tears run down the back of your head to avoid your face. How you doing?" Like it's good, and like, oh, he's just great.
He's class.
Sorry, wait.
Baron
Corbin. I keep going on tangents.
That's alright. That's what we're here for.
Baron Corbin. I had a night out with him. My mate Daniel got his pals that was chatting to him because he's a Thrones fan. So Daniel, my pal's in Game of Thrones. So he was. Yeah, you can use some of that antibacterial. Coronavirus, watch out. Use some of that. So we went on a night out with Baron Corbin. We met. Is it Joker? No, Jester.
Jack Jester.
Met Jack Jester in the hotel. He was really, really nice to me. And then Mark Dallas came up and slapped like an ICW like pamphlet on our table before we met Baron Corbin. It was like, ICW is the best company about. And I was kind of like, all right.
It's self-promotion.
Sound. I mean, it was good. It worked. It made me go.
Yeah.
But Baron Corbin was great. We went to a pub in the West End, had some whiskies. He was talking all night about how much he loved whiskey, and just he was a good chat. He was
in the West End of Glasgow.
Yeah, Finniston bar. Wow. We went to.
That's crazy.
Around the corner, me and Big Baron Corbin.
Me and King Corbin.
Me, King Corbin, and Danny. We ended. Right, so I had a really good night. We ended up in town, and he was getting a lot of attention off lassies. Like, all the lassies were pure into him because he's a big, tall, sexy bastard. Like,
I wouldn't say he was sexy.
No, like, you wouldn't expect it, but he's a big, tall guy.
Yeah,
like, he's a big, imposing figure. And
yeah.
He was just sitting at the bar, and so many lassies were trying to fire into him. So we were kind of like making up who he was and all that, like trying to kind of like hide him essentially in plain sight. But we end up at the top of Buchanan Street with Baron Corbin eating a sausage supper.
That's a brilliant sentence. That's a brilliant sentence.
Eating a sausage supper up the top of the tune.
Just sitting there in Buchanan Street with Baron Corbin eating a sausage supper.
Aye. And then he was like, I want the night to continue, man. And I was like, all right, cool. Daniel was like, what do you want to do? He's like, is there any graveyards around here, man? And then I was like,
what?
It was the necropolis. He's like, oh, if we could get a bottle of whiskey and go to the necropolis, that'd be cool. And I was like, it does sound, I mean, it sounds well at Baron Corbin Street. Like,
absolutely.
And I know folk could do that. Like,
yeah,
I know folk who like to hang about graveyards. People find it relaxing or whatever. That's what he wanted to do, but we didn't have the bottle of whiskey.
Brilliant.
And I think it was like 3 o'clock in the morning. And we're like,
you can't buy a bottle.
We can't do that. And he was destroying the whiskey, and he seemed totally fine. But again, he's a massive dude.
Yeah. He's drank with the Undertaker. Apparently, Undertaker can outdrink anybody.
Oh, really?
With whiskey. So maybe he's been well trained.
Yeah, probably. I mean, he's a really lovely guy, man. I was really impressed by just how, just how he was. I mean, crazy. I've had a ton of experiences like that though, where you're like, I've met this mad random celebrity and had like a night out with him. When did that happen? When did I become that guy?
Aye.
How did that happen?
It's just because you're the celebrity as well.
I know. And then I work with kids at Strathclyde Uni.
I know.
They're like, what do you do? What acting do you do? And you're like, I was in this film. I've not heard of it.
You're like, Wild Rose, never seen it. And I know.
If you're not interested in you. It's back to that thing we talked about at the start.
I know. I never talked about Outlander.
Oh, Outlander.
Yeah. Any fun stories from Outlander?
Outlander's great.
Josh was an Outlander as well.
I was an Outlander in this current season about to come up. I mean, I'm probably not allowed to say, but by the time this comes out next week,
yes.
By the time this comes out, the first episode will be launched this Saturday. And sorry, I'm explaining what time it is, but yeah. So the first episode, I'm in the first 2 episodes of this season coming up, and I was in the last season of Outlander in episode 5. I loved it, man. It was hilarious because I realised I got a massive head.
All right.
Like an actual literal massive head.
All right.
It took 4 of the wig people to get a wig on my head. So I had like 4 people like getting their like feet up on my chest. Like,
wow, really?
Like strangling this on my head. That was great. Outlander, the people treat you absolutely amazing.
I'd love to do that show.
Okay, you'll get a chance, man, I'm sure.
I'd love to do that.
Have you been up for it?
Nah, I've applied for it a few times, but I've never.
Yeah, I think you'll get there, man.
I've never even had a audition for it.
It's really sound. Funnily enough, the first director I worked with, but she was one of the producers in Little Women. She was the producer of all the early Tim Burton films.
What?
So the first Batman, Edward Scissorhands, all these films, all the original ones. She was the producer. And then she wanted to do directing. So I worked with the producer of
the 89 Batman.
89 Batman.
Holy God.
And I was like,
you have some amazing stories.
It's crazy.
Just random stories.
I know, they're just there.
That's crazy.
She was awesome. She was awesome. And I get to this, still to this day, there's an extra who notices me in bars and that whenever I go to a bar in Glasgow.
Yeah.
I've got a line in the first season of Outlander I was in last season, and it's the thieving bastards should pay. We're fighting taxes, raging about taxes. We're these farmers who are like poor and destitute. Backstory wise, I got told that like my wife has died of like starvation and all this stuff, and it's really serious. So I'm raging, and I'm a bit of an extremist. So I have this line where it's like, between Murtagh's one of the big characters in it, everyone loves him, and he was just back for this season, so we was talking about that. I think it was that episode that he was in, like he arrives back. But I have this line where I basically go like, "The thieving bastard should pay." And I have this guy every time I go into a bar scream over from the other side of the room, "The thieving bastard should pay." Every time he sees me, he like puts up like a big fist.
Yo, aye, mate, that's me.
I'm like, oh fucking hell, it's this guy again. But he's kind of brilliant. Aye, Outlander's great.
Brilliant.
I can't really talk about this season coming
No,
up.
no,
I've got stories about that.
Yeah. Well, by the time you're on next, hopefully the season could be done and we can talk.
Yeah, well,
chat
in the
about...
first 2 episodes.
There you
So
go.
if we do this in a couple of weeks, then
Yeah.
that times out perfectly.
We can chat about more Outlander, we can talk about more wrestling, and we can talk about wrestlers and movies, which we were supposed to talk about today,
Finally.
but never got to it, so make sure that happens next time. Anything else you want to say, and then we'll sign off?
Chris,
What? Jesus.
you know I'm about to say it.
I do, I go.
You're so handsome.
Thanks, bro.
And I love you. I call Chris Casanova.
Casanova calls me, I am not good at taking it.
Not at all.
He tells me that I'm brilliant and stuff, and I'm like, stop.
All the time.
I know. He
But
does watch the YouTube though.
But you are brilliant, and I think you do a really good job on the YouTube stuff. And you
Thanks,
should
bro.
sign up for Chris's Patreon as
Oh,
well.
yeah,
You
you
actually get some sign-ups. Because,
Patreon.com/CM42TV.
yeah,
You can hear more from Josh.
you should go for it for sure. The man deserves it. He's a great guy, and he's got a lovely pair of baby blues.
Right, okay, enough. Thanks so much, my brother, and we'll do it again very soon.
Yes.
Citizens